How's it going, everybody? My name is just Jared, but you can just call me Jared no matter what my channel name still says. And finally, after like 3 long effing years, Lost Ark has a Western release window planned for the fall of this year, and I couldn't be more stoked. If you don't already know, Lost Ark is a free-to-play action RPG that's also technically an MMO, but it plays more like an ARPG. I heard about this game 3 years ago, and after losing hope of it ever coming to the West, I really just stopped paying attention to it. It has been and currently is only playable in South Korea, Russia, and Japan, and if you wanted to play it in the US, for example, you had to jump through like 80 million hoops, and I'm just not about that life. All that being said, in the grand scale of things, I know almost nothing about this game. I'm nowhere near a professional. I don't have all the info. Finding info on this game is tough because it's so freaking large and it's just not a heavily covered game due to it not being out in the West. But I know it's got tons of loot in it, so we're going to talk about what I know, and when more official info is released, because the devs are going to have to do that to explain what the game actually offers in more detail, because there's no way the majority of the people have been following this Korean-based game. I'll cover everything you need to know about the loot when that info is easily accessible, if it ever is. For now, here's some basics and random stuff you can do in Lost Ark to whet your appetite, and just so you can see just how massive and cool this game is. Lost Ark is an action RPG, so there's tons of loot. You've got rarities, gear sets, pets, stats, armor slots, upgrading, crafting. There will be 6 base classes and 18 advanced classes on full release, each with their own playstyle, combos, designs, and wicked cool fluid animations and abilities, some of which you're seeing in the background right now. Each class has various advanced classes within them, so the warrior class, for example, has the berserker, paladin, and gunlancer, and the martial artist class breaks down into the war dancer, scrapper, and soul fist classes, all of which have unique playstyles. You've also got the gunslinger, artillerist, deadeye, and sharpshooter under the gunner class, the bard and summoner under the mage class, and the shadow hunter and deathblade under the assassin. Combat in Lost Ark is super fast paced and involves you dodge rolling and pulling off massive combos with your abilities, all of which can be customized using Lost Ark's tripod system, which gives you 3 tiers of customization for every single ability. You'll be running dungeons and raids while you journey across the 7 explorable open-world continents of Arkesia and the seas between them in search of lost treasures, all while taking on hordes of enemies and huge bosses, either solo, with friends, or with random players you meet out in the world. There's a major focus on endgame, which requires you to put together builds with the right loot and items to get your gear score higher and higher to unlock more difficult dungeons that reward super rare loot. There's PvP if that's your thing, and there's also a world to just chill in, maybe when you want to take a break from monster slaying. Listen to this, you can eventually own your own ship, which you use to travel across the continents of Arkesia. You have full control over hiring members of your crew because there's ship battles that take place over the water. This is a fully fledged system that actually exists in this kind of game. It's pretty crazy. You can also find waterways as you explore where you can fish. Different fish are used for cooking a variety of meals that can give you powerful buffs during combat. You can go out and hunt for animals that drop materials that can be used for cooking more recipes, or used for crafting certain armor that doesn't drop from enemies. You can even get your own island that you can deck out and customize, as well as hunt and fish on, like your own homeland basically. There's an NPC relationship system apparently too, where you can get unique rewards. There's just a lot going on in this game, all of which centers around loot and items, which is what this channel is all about. My mind is kinda blown right now. I'm a little flustered, I'm not gonna lie. I was just definitely not expecting a Lost Ark fall release to be announced like ever. There's so much to this game, it might end up being my World of Warcraft game, my game that I play forever. It couldn't be more up my alley. I might try to do some more research into the specifics of how the mechanics and whatnot work in Lost Ark, but my current experience with doing research is that it's hard to understand what people who've played are talking about online because the game has been playable for 3 years and been in development for like 6 years, and there's just so much that I don't know already in terms of terminology or game mechanics that after an hour of trying to learn about the game, I just ended up being more lost. No pun intended. But that's all I have for you today. Long story short, if you are a fan of action RPGs, this game is going to be exactly what you're looking for. A lot of people have been looking forward to this game to actually come to the West, so I just can't believe it's happening. Now, I have heard whispers in the past that this game is pay to win, with you being able to purchase items that let you run more endgame dungeons more frequently or gain XP faster, but this was years ago, so I don't know if any of that has changed or been altered since then. We'll just have to wait until we have more info or until full release to really know the extent of pay to win, if there is any. If there is pay to win, it will probably kill the game for me and probably kill the game for a lot of others as well, so I pray they just stick to cosmetic microtransactions. But that being said, this is a Korean game and they're famously known for pay to win mechanics. So maybe this video is pointless and I'm getting my hopes up for nothing. Either way, it was still fun to talk about. I'm gonna go now. I've rambled on for way too long. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like because that's how YouTube works. I need all the views, and subscribe for more game news focused around the loot in games. Also, if you subscribe within the next 11 minutes, I will give you my firstborn child. Okay? I'm trying to get 7 billion subs. We're so close. Do it. Okay, bye.